up, everyone? Welcome back to Ball Up Top, your weekly women's basketball podcast from us here at No Cap Space. Tyler and Shawnee holding it down for you here today. Shawnee, we're getting closer and closer to this WNBA season. And look, 5-out drop today on NoCapSpaceWBB.com. You know, just hey, Andrew said, you know what? Here's some hot takes for y'all. So we're like, oh my goodness, Andrew, you're going to leave us out of the fun? Absolutely not. So not only do we have a couple hot takes of our own, but we have Andrew's hot takes here to pull up. And we're going to, I don't want to say fact check. We're not fact checking, but what is it? Hot take? The open 24 hours hot take house. You already know how it is in the No Cap Space. So first off, we're going to start with Andrew's hot takes. Shawnee, I feel like you in particular are going to have some great responses to some of these because you and Andrew could just never get on the same page with the take. There's just certain topics that it just never happens, you know, and that's okay. But today we're gonna dive into that. We have some takes of our own. Before we get into that, of course, our friends at Home Field, use code NOCAP15 to get 15% off your first Home Field purchase, or go down in the link below and find the No Cap Space Women's Basketball Collection, where we have personally curated every piece of women's basketball merch on the incredible, the amazing Home Field website. Shawnee, you ready?
Let's do it.
Okay, let's start off. We're going to pull up Andrew's article here. Again, 5-out, the best weekly column in women's basketball. Andrew be hooping with these. I'd be excited to read it. Like I get that notification, man. I get so excited every time the 5-out drops. Like, and sometimes I even know what's coming, and I still just get excited. Like I be ready for it. So
conversely, when I have to fill in, I get nervous.
Yeah, I filling in for 5-out is a tall task because of the ball that Andrew has said. I've done it a couple times too, and it's not an easy task. But first off, Shawnee, his first take of 5. This year's WNBA Finals will be Storm versus Liberty. Again, these are hot takes. These aren't necessarily takes that, you know, is maybe like his number one take, but just hot takes. How would you deem this? Maybe on like a scale of hotness and then your thoughts on it.
All right. So from mild to habanero, I'm going to say this is like a 7, 6,
okay.
7.
I can
it's
get
a
with
little
that.
hot, but it's like defending champions. I don't believe in them. We'll get into that later. Storm were supposed to be contenders and kind of underachieved last year, so
they had a lot going on.
Yeah, Suspect still has a lot going on, but Suspect feels like they got rid of the dead weight. So, oops. Yeah, I don't think this is super hot. I need to see who Minnesota ended up keeping out of the 57-person in-game training camp. Like, are you serious?
Yeah, because like now Dorka isn't going to be around now, so that takes off one name. It literally feels like the Hunger Games with the cannons going off when the tributes die. Like it's like across the entire WNBA, but especially Minnesota. And Cheryl, as we're recording this today on Monday night, Cheryl was pissed today.
Mad as heck! Like whoa.
Yeah.
Like
so I don't know what's going on in Minnesota. I'm not like pulling any fire alarms or anything, but like something to monitor is how I will deem it until further notice.
What I will say is she was pissy last preseason, but she was just like, why aren't the cameras in Minnesota, blah, blah, blah. And like I could have sworn there was like a scheduling thing where the game was supposed to be one day and it got moved.
Yeah, I think you're right.
So that's why I was like, I don't understand why we're pushing this narrative that like, oh, they're focusing on the fever when like y'all changed the day of the game. I don't know. It was weird, but
yeah,
she got to talk heavy at the Commissioner's Cup, and it was completely justified. So maybe that's just going to be a thing. Set the tone. Cheryl Reeve pissed off about something every year.
I can respect it.
Consistency is key.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, I mean, they got to the finals last year. In your eyes, won the WNBA championship. So like, I mean, obviously something's working. I will say with the Storm in particular with this take, because I think the Liberty part is like is the part that cools this take off. Obviously, defending champs and everything. Almost everyone has come back. We'll talk a little bit about the changes that were made with New York this year. Seattle is an interesting team to me because like I don't really know what's going on with their bench. Like they don't really have a ton on their bench. However, if Dominique Malonga just comes in and like is just not even has to be like a superstar or anything off rip, but like it's just like solid.
No, be a superstar.
Well, I'm not saying don't be a superstar. But like, because some of those scrimmage clips, I don't know if you got to see them online. Like they had like the close scrimmage against the Sparks. She looked pretty damn good, Shawnee. I'm not gonna lie. She looked pretty.
And that's what I was
good.
saying. Like play her. Somebody got moved to the 3. NECA moved to the 3. Scoot over.
It's probably Dominique. Like it's probably
at the
3. You know, like bro, a lineup of Skylar, Gabby, Dominique, Ezzy, NECA. Hey man.
Because I don't want to see her coming off the bench. I'm sorry. Like if we're doing it Manu Ginobili style, I guess, but like let her hoop, let her cook, let her go for rookie of the year. And I'm not even saying that like as a no. This is no hate. This is no hate. This is like the clips I'm seeing in practice from that close scrimmage. I want to see her cook. I want to see Sonya cook. I want to see these rookies actually get the opportunity to cook and like make the award competitive, because that's been a thing the last few years where minutes really stifled the rookie of the year competition from being like a true competition. And it's usually just like, okay, well, who started more games? All right. Respectfully, because Michaela Onyenwere has carved herself a nice little spot in the W, but it was like her year. Who was like Sam Thomas?
Either one of us could have checked in a game and been put in the rookie of the year race just by checking in.
Saying.
Like, yeah,
she was averaging like 9 minutes or something like that. So it's like I want to see rookies get the opportunity to shine, especially like these new rookies, since like respectfully, it's a different era. Let the kids cook. So I want to see Dominique cook. I want to see the rookie of the year competition be competitive. I want to see Seattle go places because of Dominique and, you know, her vets being supportive and pushing her forward. And I like, that's what I want to see. So it's not a super hot take, but I don't. Yeah, we'll talk later because
I
think the runner-up. Like you said, it cools this take down.
Yeah, for sure. I'll tell you, for me, like I love this for Dominique Malonga so much. Like I don't know if she could have possibly ended up in a better situation, just like across the board. You have vets in NECA, like a vet in NECA who like is a big that has done it all. You have Skylar, who I love Skylar. Like I can't hate her. I'm sorry. Like me and Shard locked in. Like Ezzy, like you have your partner in crime like for forever, right? Like you guys have your duo as long as you want to be a duo. And then you also have Gabby Williams, your French teammate, involved in this as well. So like like just that transition of everything and someone that understands coming over from Europe and the balance of that. And they both aren't going to be playing in Eurobasket, which is a plus for Seattle as well. I can see, like, again, I had said in my Storm preview, like they can't lose pretty much anything else. You've already had several injuries. Like Katie Lou Samuelson is out. Jordan Horston is out, both out for the season. Like you don't have much room for error. But the pathway to going and be a successful team and making a finals appearance is not like hard to see by any means. Like the talent is there, especially in the top like 6 players on this roster.
What I will say is you and Shot are on pack watch for Skylar Diggins because she let me down in Unrivaled. I was hootie-hooing like a fool, and they won every game except the one that mattered. And that's kind of been that's been something to monitor throughout her career, because in 2021, BG is playing out of her goddamn skull. And Skylar kind of didn't match that energy. So now you have Chicago winning, you know, their first ever championship in franchise history, and all-time BG postseason kind of gone to waste. And then now DT's punching doors. Skylar had a part in that door getting punched, so she needs to kind of make up for it. So I would like to see her finish, you know, because she's really good at having good seasons and showing that she's one of the top guards in the league during the regular season. But please don't James Harden me. Like, hey, if you never ever
disagree with you.
James Harden.
Yeah, never.
We gotta talk about it.
Don't ever do that. No, it's just she's just the last remaining survivor of the Tulsa shock. So shout out to Like,
Lord.
So shout out to Skylar. Continuing on, this is and Andrew admits this. This is like the most lukewarm take of them all. So we might get through this one pretty quickly, but Caitlin Clark will finish top 3 in MVP voting. I think that this is damn near guaranteed, to be quite honest. Like, as long as there's no sophomore slump, which I would be shocked by, I don't see any indication of that. To me, it's Asia, it's Caitlin, it's Fee that are going to be 1 through 3 in some order this WNBA season. But what do you think? Do you see Caitlin Clark ending up in the top 3 of the MVP voting?
If health permits, yes. And what I will say is we're seeing somewhat of I guess a course correction where people are kind of setting these expectations for her after being kind of hypercritical of her last year. Now we're seeing like, oh, she's going to do this, that, the third. And it's like, okay, like, all right. So I can see a narrative for her. Like the award comes with like, okay, what am I trying to say? When you have that was part of the reason the last couple of years I've been kind of blown, like, narratives matter when it comes to accolades.
For sure.
Right? So what's the story with why this person should win as much as it is the stats? And I feel like people have not done a good job of telling certain people's stories. So now we're getting like, some people might get some things that I might disagree with, blah, 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 blah. With Caitlin, I feel like they've already got the narrative written. So I don't want to say like, I'm not discrediting her because obviously I don't.
Yeah, if anyone's not going to discredit, it's you. Yeah,
but
for sure.
I think like this season, people are trying to get on the right side of history after kind of being weird the first year. So I can see like the narrative is already kind of, they're waiting for her to produce so that they can say like they were right.
Yeah, I can see that. No, to me, I completely agree with you. To me, MVP awards are like even like, I mean, it's really like in all sports. Like, and the MVP award is always about stats, standings, and story to me. And like all those things.
That's why you want
broadcast.
That's why you want broadcast. Come
on now. So to me, that's what it always gets. And like Caitlin obviously put the stats up last year. Didn't really have the standings weren't bad. Obviously, you make the playoffs and everything, but like not like the high like MVP standard of standings in that. And also the story wasn't there yet.
We got it.
Well, I hear you. I hear you.
At number, and I'm a Russell Westbrook fan, so please, I don't care.
Hey,
as long as we do playoffs.
Hey, Russell Westbrook's still on the wall over there somewhere. Like, yeah, like behind the bed, like I'm here with you. So like, but to me, I completely agree that I never thought, no matter what, and like, not that she should have been MVP last year. Like that's not, but like, I don't think there was really going to be a world where she got like crowned in year one. Now,
right
now, I think people are way more comfortable having those conversations at this point. And the standings, every indication is that the standings will be better this year. The stats, like, they might look a little bit different. They might be a little bit more playmaky and like in that way, but I don't imagine like they get worse. Like if anything, like they should be better. They just might look a little bit different from like a spread of the stats.
She could average a triple-double. Let's hot take that.
Hey,
look, no Photoshop. She can average a triple. Look, look.
Not no Photoshop, please.
I can kind of see like they're passing better. There's more people to pass to people. And this is my thing. Like, Aaliyah Boston is really comfortable in her role as like, a hybrid point forward / traditional big / like, I could see some stuff happening. I could see some stuff shaking.
I don't disagree. So yeah, I agree with his assessment that this was his most lukewarm of the takes. Because again, like it really does seem, and all of it is because of how good she was last year, frankly, especially the second half of last year. Everything has just lined up where like it won't just be her by any means. Again, I think it's her, it's Fee, it's Asia, and until someone knocks Asia off that peak, like someone, you're not just taking that away from Asia. I don't imagine there being some major regression there by any means. So it's
that's
not
what I'm saying. Like, it's got to be something crazy. Like she averages a triple-double. Like,
no, if it's something like that, Come on now. Come on
And
now. It's
I'm gonna
undeniable.
be, I'm gonna be right there.
Undeniable.
Let's
Undeniable
go.
at that point. So sticking with the Fever, for this next take,
Why
the
would he say
Fever will
that?
start slow out of the gate. Is this next hot take? And so new coach, new staff, new players. Like, do you? So the kind of the opposite side of this take. So you have like all the new players, but also you maintain your core of Caitlin, AB, and Kelsey Mitchell, and then also some of the role players like Alexi Hall, things of that nature as well. Do you think that the Fever are going to start off slow, maybe the first like 10 to 15 games? Do you have any worry of that, or do you feel like they're going to hit the ground running with this new look for the entire franchise? Really,
I expect them to hit the ground running. I feel like preseason it looked a little wonky because you're trying out new stuff. But like once the regular season hits, like they know what their bread and butter is. Get the ball and run. Everybody, and it's like when you look at the team, everyone looks slimmed down. Everyone looks like they've been on their treadmills. Everyone looks like they're understanding where she's like leading you, how to catch her passes, which is big, and how to finish with her passes coming at that velocity. So that's the bread and butter. And once they start doing that, it's very, very hard to stop. So it's like you got to practice some half court stuff. You got to work out some kinks preseason. But I think once regular season, it's like let's do what we're supposed to do and work, and lean on that while we figure everything else out in the half court. So I expect them to run, and I expect them to run a couple teams. And some teams might try and game plan for that, but it is very hard to game plan for stamina when everybody is running. Because then, like, we got Michaela Timpson coming off the bench, folks.
I love her so much.
Woo!
Yeah.
That's perfect. Let her cook. Let her cook.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. I mean, look, it should be looking like there's like 3 Hannah Stolkes on the court at any time. Like I need everyone running 4 verts. Like we've been talking about them, like Caitlin Clark 4 verts for years now. Like we've been talking about this for a very, very long time. And the thing is, so to me, to avoid a slow start, I think that happens on the defensive end. To your point of how do you turn the ball over? How do you make sure that you're not allowing offensive rebounds, things of that nature, just so you can get out and run? Because I think I think to a point, like they have enough talent, which you never want to like just purely rely on talent, but like to a point, you have enough talent that just fits so incredibly well together, just like naturally. I don't imagine there being like a ton of issue in like the half court, but I do think whatever issue or level of like learning or like adjustment that there has to be in the half court can be negated on the defensive side of the ball by allowing yourself to get easy buckets from tips, steals, one and done rebounds where people are just going. Because again, if Caitlin gets the ball, everyone needs to turn their head and be ready to catch. Because her full court passing is just ridiculous. Like it doesn't. And to your point, people catching the ball. I need people. I don't know if I start wearing gloves on the court. Do whatever you got to do. Diamond in your hands. Like come on. Like whatever we got to do. Do something, because the amount of passes that got dropped last year, just all over the board of different things. My goodness, it was so incredibly frustrating to watch. So literally, I would wonder. I would love to know how many turnovers were just drop passes. Like
it was a good bit.
It was a lot. It was a lot. Yeah. Like it was a lot. So I'm with you. Like maybe the first couple of games, like I could see like I think we will see a learning. Like we will see growth. I don't know if it'll be enough to constitute a slow start to the season, though, like from a winning perspective or things of that nature. I still feel decently good that like it just all fits so well naturally. Like, they killed it in the offseason. So,
because what did they start like? What 1-5 last year? No,
it was bad. Remember, they had like all those games all
they
super
had
close
Connecticut
together.
Like 4 times and lost all of those. Then they had the Liberty. So yeah, they started off like winless.
Yeah, they had the big dogs early. Like it was.
Yeah, so I like that to me isn't really a slow start. It's a horrible start. So I think let me see, because they got Chicago, and Chicago ain't no hoe now. Yeah, that's gonna be something.
Got you right here. It goes Chicago, Atlanta, New York, Washington. Connecticut, Washington is their first 7.
Yeah, no, they're not. No, because they're at least beating Washington. I think they can get Atlanta. Like, I think Atlanta's going to be interesting because Atlanta is also trying to run and shoot threes.
There's gonna be some messy games this season, just stylistically. Yeah, well,
the theme of the year is I gotta see it.
Yeah,
I gotta see it. Like I can kind of conceptualize some stuff with some teams, but I gotta see it.
Yeah, I'm with you. So I think we'll say not a slow start. I don't think we see a full slow start coming, but
I think they'll be fine.
I think we could see.
I think they'll get off to a solid start.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Speaking of Atlanta, Brittany Griner will be first team All WNBA this season. No.
Why? Hold on.
So basically, again, you can see all this on nocastbasewbb.com to get Andrew's full thoughts here. You know, a little shameless plug. But basically, new place, new space to operate in. You're not like the sole big that she's pretty much always been in Phoenix. Average 18-6 last year. I'm going to be honest. I don't want to see BG shooting threes. I've said this on the Atlanta preview that's here on the YouTube. I've said it. I am so nervous about what relying on Brittany Griner being a floor spacer does. And because of that nervousness, on top of who's going to be on first, like the first team, presumably locks Asia, Fee, Caitlin, probably Stewie. Like, so at 3 at least. Okay, 3 at least. Stewie more than likely. You have players like John Quell. You have the Angels of the world, Camilla, Aaliyah Boston, Alyssa Thomas,
Dominique Malonga.
Hello, NECA, right? NECA, Ezzy. Like, there's a lot of bigs, especially. Like, and I know it's not positional, but like if you're comparing big to big on a lot of those, I don't know how Brittany Griner stands out enough to be a first teamer. Maybe second team, potentially, but to me, I'm not seeing the vision on that.
If they're playing this current style of play, I say no, because like in the little the W just posted a video and it's like, what are you looking forward to showcasing most this year? And she was like, my 3-point shooting. And it's like she was stroking it in the preseason, but I don't know how sustainable that is.
Right.
And how, like you said, are we relying on that? Because when you take her away from the basket, you take away a team's biggest asset. Like, teams would love for nothing more than Brittany Griner to be 35 feet away from the basket.
Yep.
Like, and that's just not who she is and who she's been her entire career and when she's been her most dominant, right? So if she's stepping out of the paint that far and trying to really like incorporate that like she's doing what I wish Bill Lambert let Asia do. Whore. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. But it's like, I'm not, especially to me, and this is like being a homer a little bit, but like if Aaliyah Boston gets her triple doubles, there's a case for some stuff. Because like Aaliyah, I don't think people are seeing what Aaliyah is doing because the numbers are not like eye-popping, but for her to be a traditional back to the basket big and flirt with a triple double on a regular basis, that's not normal. So and to me, if Alyssa Thomas gets on with similar type, you know, like that was her case for MVP a couple years ago. She had a couple triple doubles. So if Aaliyah starts getting that, I'm putting my agenda. We're right there. My agenda is coming.
Yeah.
So I think, she's got to play to her strengths. If she plays to her strengths, like, ain't nobody stopping her. And if she's actually like dominant and locked in, like, I can see first team. But if we're trying like stretch big BG, I gotta see it.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. To me, and I had said this in my preview for the Dream, was that her spacing the floor and being capable of doing that is great in addition to her being dominant down low, not in replacement for being dominant down low. And that is where my fear becomes, because like if you look at it, obviously Jordan Cannon is hurt now, but is going to be back. She's not a 3-point shooter. Bree Jones is not a 3-point shooter. Alicia Gray and Ryan are super high volume and are both around like 35% from 3. So like certainly capable, but not knockdown 3-point shooters. And then it's BG. That's your starting lineup. So you have 2 players that already can't shoot the 3. You have Alicia Gray, who I think I'd put a tier above Ryan in terms of 3-point shooting, but both again not like incredibly super duper knockdown like sniper type shooters. And then BG. So you are actively asking BG to space the floor for you, or your guards and your perimeter players, who again are solid 3-point shooters, but not who I would build a pure 3-point shooting system around.
They said Brittany Quigley, like, bro, be for real, Smesco. Like, let's go, Smesco.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Come on,
I'm not. Again, in addition to addition to what she can do down low, I love it. Being the main focus, I hate it. And so where that balance is at, that's where I'll be interested in seeing from BG this season. But even with that, I don't think first.
Keep that away from me and my family.
Yeah, please. And specifically my eyeballs. Okay, last from Andrew's takes before we get into our own. JC Sheldon will win most improved player. I actually love this take. I love this take. I do.
This take is so niche, and it's like I don't even know how to argue that because we don't know who's gonna be most improved until they improve. And then even still, it's like most improved in both the W and the NBA is just stupid. Because their lottery picks should be excluded from being most improved.
Fair.
Respectfully to Satu and what she was able to do when she was healthy, she should have never have won that. That did not make any sense.
I agree. I was with you that year. Yep.
Yeah, and I hate that narrative should play a little bit more into it, because if you're a lottery pick and you've just been healthy, that shouldn't count.
Yeah.
So for this, like JC would be a good candidate. I'm sticking Letitia and me here and there.
There you go.
I'm pushing for that. You know, she's going to have space and opportunity to cook. Didn't have quite the performance that second game as she did the first game. But like, if Natalie lets her cook the way that she did, and then she wasn't even getting minutes in Atlanta.
Yeah.
I'm pushing.
Yeah. That's the thing. That's what I hate about it, is because I agree with you in the terms of like, I would prefer like high draft picks, not because to me, this is what, year 2 for JC. So like, this is just graduating Dallas Wings University. Like this isn't improving.
She has that on her side. That's an important narrative. That's a very important narrative.
This is very true. But
so Letitia and me here is also a first round pick. So
true. And
like, I think she was like 6th, right? Yeah.
5th, I think. Yeah, somewhere in that area. Yeah. Like it's so like I don't disagree with you on that. However, the status quo has been set where it's like allowed. You know, so it's like at this point, even though I wish it wasn't the status quo, it has kind of been set. And I do think in Connecticut, she has like the perfect opportunity to establish herself. They don't really have much in Connecticut. So like there's plenty of room to go and do that. Like
somebody's going to be dumb and say, is Caitlin Clark most improved? And I'm going to lose my mind. Like I'm going to absolutely flip my stuff. Like don't do that.
I'm trying to think of like who else I'd like off the top of my head would be a good candidate. Ooh, I'm just kind of like looking through like just names right now. I think Kalani Brown, if she ends up starting in Phoenix, could be an interesting one for that. Lee Yaroo, potentially, if she gets like good minutes off the bench in Seattle. I like that pick. Who else? Okay, I'm kind of just like scanning right now. Honestly, either center that it's like whether it's Natasha Mack or Kalani Brown in Phoenix, whoever ends up starting and like playing the most minutes there has like, if they end up producing, there's a case to be made for either one of them.
If Angel, and I'm trying to figure out if I hate this or not, because if Angel starts doing this,
say it out loud.
Angel, I don't think I would mind. Like watching her in Marsh's system and watching this like point forward action type deal.
Yeah,
I'm seeing
it'd probably be more of an eye test improvement, like as opposed to a statistical one. But it might
be a statistical one.
It
No,
could be.
if her field goal percentage goes up,
That would be the statistic to like.
Yeah, but I'm trying to, you go from like second and rookie of the year, but like 7th pick, I don't think I would hate it as much as like, a lottery pick. I don't think you should give it to Cam Brink when she comes back. Like that's just staying healthy, and I don't agree with that. And she was already on that trajectory. Like that's just the natural progression. So
Yeah.
I don't think I would hate Angel being it if she's balling out like she was in preseason. And then especially like if people kind of start paying a little bit more attention to how she operates on the defensive end, and she starts getting the attention, I don't hate it. But I don't know if that, I don't.
Yeah, it's weird because like again, I don't know where my personal I don't know where my standard like cutoff is. Like, is it just a lottery? Like I don't really know where I stand like on like a pick, and like because on one hand like the pick like was the pick, she goes like 8th or whatever it was, like somewhere in that range, and then
7th.
Okay, so yeah, so and then you go and hoop immediately, so it's like your floor. Like your floor is already so much higher than just for comparison's sake with JC Sheldon, your floor is already so much higher. Like how much can because I think kind of the argument I remember making between Satu and Jordan Canada that year was like, yeah, okay, Satu went from like here to here and was still the better player, but Jordan Canada went from like here on a training camp contract to here, and like while still being a less player, went up higher pegs like in like the tiers of the WNBA than Satu did. So it's like I'll be interested in seeing like how that's handled in that way.
Okay.
I don't.
When you say that, then now I don't like it because she set like hella records.
That's what I'm saying. Like what would be the level
so it's
of
like if you're not
needed.
setting records,
right.
So you can't go from setting that many records in year one. You have to be an MVP candidate in year 2, and then if you're
you
an
probably
MVP
have to be first
candidate,
team all WNBA at worst.
And then I don't think that's if you're at that level, then now I think you're just at that level. You don't deserve you are excluded from most improved. That's for okay. Nope. Angels out. Sorry.
Yeah.
Too good.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Regardless,
suffering from success.
We'll call that take solid. We'll give that one a thumbs up. Good job. Shout out to JC Sheldon. I don't. We'll see who improves, I guess.
Look, if JC pushes Caitlyn and gets an iconic fall picture in some form,
you gotta fight back.
that's me using promos now. Sister, you gotta do. If she can get a lick back, then she's most improved. That she'll get my vote hands down.
Yeah. Look, I can get behind it. Again, I like the pick if we were to pick some early. Like that is one I can get behind. Shawnee, let's get into our hot takes. I know we both have one here for us. Shawnee, I'll let you bat lead off here with your hot take and what you have in mind going into this WNBA season.
I think majority of the league got worse. Some stuff happened that I'm just kind of like, this does not move me. This does not move me. Hearing quotes in preseason from certain teams, this does not move me. And so I'm like, okay, Seattle got better in my opinion.
Okay.
Chicago, Indiana. Yeah. That's really the 3 that stick out to me immediately as outright improvements. So I'm just kind of like there. That's why my theme is I need to see it because everybody made moves and it's certain things I don't trust, whether it be coaching.
Atlanta, Phoenix are like brand new systems. Like I don't know what y'all even got really going on for real. Like on top of I don't like what I'm hearing and what I'm seeing on paper, but I mean, you could prove me wrong, but I can get with that. I can get with that.
I don't trust Coach Riblets. My aces, we cut Deja Kelly, and to be abundantly clear, I'm not saying Deja Kelly was going to save our season. I'm just saying when we consistently have issues with the bench, And now we have to rely on Liz Kitley year one off of an injury, a
Mm-hmm.
significant injury. Then we have to rely on, Tiffany
Nine.
Mitchell is
Mm-hmm.
solid, Aaliyah is solid, but like not to pile on because I said it first, but KB is still
Yeah.
there. But like it's just I don't get a warm fuzzy about the bench, and then like the whole I don't want dogs, I want wolves, I want everybody
Weird.
starving, and like yeah, like it feels like we're trying a little too hard. So I need to see it. That's
Mm-hmm.
our start to the season is going to tell me everything I need to know, and then we'll just
Mm-hmm.
go from there. So I could
Mm-hmm.
be wrong. They could come
Yeah.
out like a pack of hungry wolves and devour everybody, but
Mm-hmm.
I need to
Yeah.
see it.
One team I did want to ask you about. We were talking about it a little bit before. You think New York got worse?
Yes, and I
Okay.
think because Benaja Laney and then losing Kayla Thornton, like those were two, not just like your defensive anchors, but like
Yeah.
they brought a toughness and a grit to this team that like is lacking now. Now it's like
Mm-hmm.
solely on JJ. Stewie hates physicality. Sabrina Walt Hopkins told us about Sabrina and athletic guards.
Yeah.
So then you're putting a lot of pressure on Natasha Cloud to be, the stopper around the perimeter, and then, JJ's gonna have to hold it down, but then like your backup. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like that. That was a big deal to me losing the two of them.
Mm-hmm.
And you get Marine. Marine is so fun to watch, but
I'm so excited.
Marine
But yeah,
don't play no
not like an
defense.
incredible needle mover, but like for me
Right.
individually, I'm
Because the
here.
thing
I
about
can't wait.
Marine, because I did see the comparisons, but the thing about Marine is she is not as sustainable as I would like her to be. Like she'll get a couple cool highlights, and then it's like the longer it goes on, it's like okay, all
Whoa,
right, hey,
That's too many
well, yeah,
slices.
whoa, hey,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
getting a little wicked.
Mm.
So that's the thing. If Phoebich takes a leap, that could be someone to fill in the gap. But we'll have to see if the worser guard starting is not taking up space and allowing and stifling her growth. So
Mm. Yeah, for me, I absolutely see where this can happen. Like where they lose two players that were incredibly important and incredibly underrated to their success and have been. To me, I think you get Rebecca Gardner back from injury from last year. So that is a player that can kind of fill in that role a little bit. I also think as you mentioned, Phoebich can come in, Kennedy Burke. Again, none to the level of Benaja Laney. I think the big difference here is you now have Natasha Cloud, who is like, if I could have picked a point guard to go and put next to Sabrina and get Sabrina off ball and like fit perfectly, to me it's Natasha Cloud when it comes to the playmaking aspect of it. Hopefully getting John Quell more involved on the offensive end, and then also the defensive side and everything. Like again, also getting Sabrina off the ball,
out the arena.
like, well, okay, but so to me, I think you have players, whether it's you're putting them at the 4 and you move Stewie to the 3, or you're putting just them at the 3. Like they have a ton of depth on this team that I want to see that they can figure it out. And again, they might not be better than last year, but I don't know how much worse they're getting if Natasha Cloud can come in and be a tone setter similar to the way that Benaja has been in years past for this Liberty team. And again, has kind of maintained, to your point, like the physicality aspect or kind of whatever they needed, frankly, Benaja was there. And now I think the big difference is and what could be kind of the weak point is that I feel like Benaja you could kind of put in and she could do anything. I now think you might have players that can do bits and pieces of what Benaja brought, but can't do everything all wrapped in one. So then it gets into rotations, it gets into lineups, and it just complicates things more. So I think that they have the
And
capability.
Sandy's kind of been a little
Like
Doc Rivers.
there's been rightful questions. So like that's where I'm like I'm willing to not deem it worse yet because I do think that the addition of Natasha Cloud over Sloot is major, but I don't disagree with you by any means on how big it is losing Benaja. It's just a matter of how do they patch that up and are you able to pivot when you need to patch it up in a different way with a different player. And I admittedly have a little bit of hesitancy on that with Sandy. So I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued by it. I will say my hot take, kind of similar to what you were just saying. You just brought up the Chicago Sky. To me, look, I was not happy with them making win now moves. I simply was. I didn't see the vision in that, trading away draft picks. Like, you could have had Sonya on this roster right now, building with Camilla and Angel, and goodness gracious, that would have been so good. And especially seeing her in preseason and how she looked, like, just makes me like feel hurt about that even more, because she's just like the perfect player to me next to your two dominant bigs. However, the win now moves that they did make were really good. Like really, really good. Ariel Atkins, Rebecca Allen, Sloot, like these are really, like, they pretty much, it's honestly like the Fever and the Sky both. So, okay, we need this, and this, and went and got that, and that. Like, I mean, and pretty much did exactly what they needed to do. So to me, I guess my hot take of sorts is that the Sky, out of any teams, is the team most poised to make a Cinderella quote unquote run in the playoffs. You have two dominant bigs. You have stars that are willing to play defense. You have 3-point shooting. You have some perimeter defense, and Rebecca Allen, Ariel Atkins, bringing them in. Like, if there was to be a team from the teams I expect to be 5 through 8 in the playoffs, Chicago, and it's everything comes down to matchups, especially in like upsets and things of that nature. To me, they're easily the most poised to go and do that. Like, you have some teams, like maybe one of these like 3-point shooting teams that could just get hot for a series, but in terms of consistency and like how good the peak of them can be, to me, Chicago is like, I wouldn't be surprised if they end up like the 5 seed, to be honest with you. Like, if Vegas doesn't pan out the way, like whether like it's something with the Jewel Lloyd not being the perfect fit in the way that it seemed, maybe 1-to-1 with Kelsey Plum, or the bench, or like there's teams where, like, if there's a drop off, I expect Chicago to be in that place. I think most likely I have them at 6th, but
even if it's not a drop off, I could see them, because
no, I think Chicago's gonna be good, man.
No, what I'm saying is, like, Angel's been giving Fee problems for a minute now. Camilla was giving Asia problems last year. Both the skyscrapers have been they've been giving like some quality bigs problems.
Sure.
So and then coaching matters. Coaching matters in an insane way. So you have someone with championship experience. You have someone that you can see outright immediately what he's doing with this team.
And it looks
the
good.
Same way, you see what Stephanie White is able, just in the press conferences, hearing Stephanie White talk and hearing Caitlin talk about what they've talked about. It's like, oh yeah, no, they've been breaking this thing down and they've been in the lab. With Chicago, like, you can actually see what's going on and what they've been cooking, and it moves me. It moves me.
I'm really moved. Again, I was completely 100% against making win now moves like this offseason and everything. Like, you can look at all my videos on that. I was completely and totally against it. And still, I'm not like 100% sold on it, because I think you could have maybe like split the difference a little bit and go and get Rebecca Allen, but then still draft Sonya, instead of trading for Ariel Atkins. Like, well, that's like kind of what hindsight will tell us. But ultimately, like, they went win now, and I don't know if they could have done really anything better in positioning themselves to win now. Now, I feel like, to me, I think that the floor is raised by the additions that they brought in. The ceiling will depend on how high Angel and Camilla can take them. And like, if you told me if they go on a finals run because of their ceiling raise, I wouldn't be surprised. Because to me,
that comes down to coaching. And when you have somebody that has watched Becky Hammond's golden clipboard at work and has done, the scouts and
it visually looks different already. Like, it really does. Like, they could be a team to me that, again, it like maybe more so than others potentially, just because it's such a brand new system in a way. I could see maybe them having like a little bit of a ramp up period and a start. But by the time like post All-Star break, like, I'm very excited to see what Chicago looks like. Because again, if there was a team, again, I don't think that they're going to be like top 4. I don't expect that. But I think that they'll be one of the best of the bunch from like 5 through 8, and can make some absolute, like, I don't want to see them in a 4 or 5 series.
I could see them 6 seed making some upsets, and I think like what you just said about like, you know, a slower start because they're trying to work out the kinks and trying to get acclimated. That's going to be the difference between them being a high seed and a six seed. But then like once they start cooking, like once they get to the playoffs, I could see them getting comfortable and making a run.
Yeah.
Boy, we get a Sky Fever Finals. Let's talk about it.
Gracious. Oh, hell, first round. It could happen first round. Like a 3-6 or hell a 3-6.
Yeah.
Like Fever. Yeah, 2-7, 3-6. Like it's
a 3-6 would be nasty. Ooh, so that first couple games is gonna tell me, since they play like 26 times to start the season.
Yeah.
Like we'll see what's up.
Yeah.
Because again, like Steph White she's calculated too. So
yeah, I'm very excited. I'm not gonna lie, like obviously everyone's gonna be hyped up for those matchups, but like truly like the on-court product of that is going to be so much fun. And like I can't wait to see, and I know that's gonna get lost in everything else that happens between Fever and Sky matchups. But like I can't wait for the hoops of those. But those are our hot takes. So let us know down below in the comments, right? Whether you're on the podcast platforms, whether you're on YouTube, what is your biggest hot take? We're gonna that's maybe we make that a little mailbag. Like give us your biggest hot takes. Maybe we react to your
and then we can argue about it. Yeah, and then yeah. We're coming for you and stand 10 toes down in them.
10 toes.
10 toes. 10 toes.
So let us know. Let us know your hot takes. Make sure you're subscribed here. Whether you're on YouTube, whether you're on podcast platforms, make sure you're subscribed, like, share, rate, all of those things. It all helps in getting No Cap Space to cover and everything that we try and do here at No Cap Space with our resources that we have. Make sure you go check out WBB.com for all our print and podcast content. And folks, the season is on the horizon. I can't wait to talk about it. I know Shawnee and the rest of No Cap Space are ready to talk about it. So until then, make sure you're tapped in across the board, and we'll see you next time.